there are some fans who have watched the first couple appearances for Stuart Skinner and been like, look, same goalie as last year. New goalie coach did nothing. He stinks. I've sat there and said, it's the preseason, calm down. But what would you say to an Oilers fan who's really picking apart Skinner's game in the preseason?
You're watching too much hockey. I don't know. I don't know if you're that dialed into a performance in the preseason. I mean, I don't know. Bruce Boudreau told me I was the worst goalie he's ever seen in practice right before I rattle off 40 wins for him. So I don't think you can dive too deep into anything that happens before the puck drops in the regular season, because you just don't know. He could be, maybe he's tweaking something. Maybe the new goalie coach is getting him to try a different approach. You don't know what that is, and nor does he need or want you to know what that is. So there's really not a lot of point in diving into these games. And again, the pace and the flow of these games is absolutely nothing like what you're going to see to start the regular season. So as long as he's ready for that, when that puck drops, none of this matters. I've had a 990 in the playoffs, or in the preseason, sorry, and I've had a 750. Like, it doesn't matter.
I like that we hear that from someone who's been in those shoes. Like, who can argue against the guy who's done what Stuart Skinner is currently doing, play preseason games? All right,
yeah. The Oilers obviously went out and got a new goalie coach this summer. That was kind of their impact on the goaltending duo, I guess we can call it. We've spoken to you about it before when we talked about Dustin Schwartz, and like, what does a goalie coach do during the season? There's obviously not a lot of practice time. It's mostly video, if I'm remembering correctly. But when a new guy comes in, like, how much extra work is there with those goalies and through preseason and even the start of the season? Is there a bit more impact and conversation than maybe someone who's more used to each other, I guess you could say?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a change of stuff there. I think it depends on, according to everybody when I was there, it was Schwartz's fault for everything. So now that he's gone, everything's going to change. But I think, he obviously knew his role coming in, and with the new coach, he's going to want to know or have identified things that maybe he wants to see differently in his game. And I think, for Skinner, you want to try to identify what it is that he's doing when he looks like the goalie that we love, and what is it when he's looks like a different goalie, and then identify what that is, what it looks like. Then you start to get into more specifics on what specifically is he doing in those games when it comes to pushing, his positioning, all of that kind of stuff, and then be able to translate that and so he can see it, understand it, and in his head know what that feels like and what the difference is, and then just work on those things over and over and over again so that the consistency comes. Because really with Stu, it's been a thing of consistency where we want to see that great goalie more often and not 50-50 or 60-40. And so that's up to the goalie coach. And then if there's things that he wants to add to his game that he thinks would help, positional play, technical stuff around the net, anything like that, that's going to be up to the goalie coach to kind of implement it. And then sometimes it's just a new voice and a new sounding board. That's a big part of being a goalie coach, is a sounding board, somebody to talk to. You can go in a back room and you can bitch all you want about whatever you think, and then it doesn't leave the room. And it's like a therapist half the time. So that's a big part of it as well. But it's not something that you're just going to magically see a change the next day. But we certainly can over a period of time.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Everyday, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered, from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.